Alrighty. Welcome to my Ludus video. Ridiculous! Okay, you'll note I got 4 things open here. I've got a big TV for editing and stuff, so I don't have to have it on multiple screens. But what I've got open here is version control. Very important if you're going to work with anything AI, to have something like GitHub, your version control, so that you can discard things when things go wrong. Because AI, any AI is basically a kid with a lot of information. So sometimes the kid is going to mess up, but the kid has got a lot of information. It's like having a clever kid in your pocket. You pull the little kid out, still a child, it's still. So you have to deal with it like you're dealing with like a little clever toddler. So make sure that you can restore your project very easily. And then I like to have Ludus separate on the side, and I'll tell you why now. And then Google Docs is free and very, very important, because this is where I save the prompts that work and handovers. So I ask Ludus to do handovers for me whenever it runs out of memory or space or whatever it is in each one of these chats over here. But let's let's begin. So the most important and easiest route to take is to first get Ludus to understand your project. So you do the basics yourself, and then I would go into the message area over here, excuse me, and I will say, have a look at this level, and without going too deep, tell me what you see. See, so that's really what you wanted to do. You wanted to have a bit of a grasp on what it is you're building. You wanted to see what you've already got, and you want to make sure that it understands the basics of what's happening. So over here, Ludus has had a look, and it's saying what's in the scene is a grid-based playing field. It's got a start marker. It's guessing here. Enemy spawn indicators. Got a $sign cube. So it's overimpressions, a template-based level for an FPS tower defense game. Yes, very, very good. Now that's pretty awesome, because now you can start determining what you want to teach this AI about your project before you go on a deep dive. And then you would say, look at this blueprint and tell me about it. Look at this blueprint and tell me about it. Look at this, that's a jumpy thingy, tell me about it. And in the end, as you go through everything, Ludus is going to start to grasp what you've got, and then you would ask it to summarize what it just learned specifically for a handover. And you've got to get used to doing that with Ludus. Ask it to give you a handover. So over here, I've got all the stuff from handover conversations with Ludus. And now I can just Control A, all of it, Control C, and then you want to save as much text time. It's already used 5% just for that over there. So now you want to say, this is what we are working on, and these are some of the important handover principles that you have given for me to remind you. Whatever. Like talk to it, let it know, and then you paste it in, And now it's going to read all of that. And it says handover received. And so this is very important. It's, you know, you go through every bit of your project, and that's why it's also important to try and get your hands on an example project or something that you're working on, something that's already done what you want to do, so that Ludus can have a look, and then you can tell it, okay, well, do that thing, do that thing, do that thing. So it's confirmed. It tells me what it knows about this project. It knows where all the blueprints are. It understands how to edit data table patterns. And then it says, okay, ready to continue. And I've only used 5% of my chat space, and we're ready to rock and roll. Great. So now we can go to the latest map that I'm working on. And Ludus and I have already done quite a bit of work here. I look at it and I see that that maybe I'd like to, you know, switch up the lighting a bit. You know, it's a bit dark over here. So you know, on the actual runways. So maybe because someone in the Discord on the Ludus Discord said, you know, how does the lighting work? So then what I would do is say, everything is peachy in this current map. I just want the walkways lit a bit. What do you suggest for a really GPU light roadway lighting strategy? So don't and then specify, say, don't do anything yet, just share some thoughts. Now it's gonna more than likely take a screenshot. See, this is an important thing with AI. You got to have a conversation. You got to have small conversations, bit by bit, and not overwhelm it. See, it took a screenshot over there, and now it says, let me take a look at the current map, and it says, good, I can see the map clearly, very dark, sci-fi, cyberpunk aesthetic with glowing neon edge trim already on the walkways. Let me research the right lighting strategies for this context. So now it's going to come up with some ideas, and we want to get technical. We want to say do everything, but that's where you get those Python loops, and that's where you get all sorts of stuff going wrong, because there's a lot. Each one of these blueprints is in and of itself a huge information dump. So just asking it to do everything means you're asking this AI to burn all your credits going into detail, looking at this blueprint, that blueprint, that blueprint. So start with small things. Start with asking for suggestions like this, because Ludus is going to look at it, plus look at your project, and then it's going to make some suggestions. Right, so it says, my recommended approach, emissive underlight strips, few accent spotlights, primary emissive strip meshes, free-ish GPU cost. So that's interesting. It says the best bang for buck here, the white neon rails you already have are likely emissive meshes. Extend that same technique downward with a thin, flat, plain mesh underneath each walkway edge using a soft-colored emissive material. Why it works. Okay, and it's very cheap on the GPU. Secondary, a small number of stationary spotlights at decision points, the intersections and corners. Now check here. So let's do this. A small number of stationary spotlights. Now you tell it where the spotlights are. So in here I've got the training area. and I'll go to, and I'll type in lights. So light like that, and I'll say, okay, cool. Place some, and now specify street lights in strategic areas. And the cool thing is you can just move the stuff around if it gets it wrong, but even if it gets it sort of right, it's going to save you a lot of time. So watch here. Okay, place some street lights in strategic areas. Use BP underscore MM. There's shorter ways to do it. Well, let me show you the shorter way. You just click on the thing as if you're going to rename it, or double click on it. Yeah, that didn't work. You got to do it from the, you got to do it inside your Explorer. I'm too lazy. Okay, BPMM underscore. But you type the whole thing out so as to search less, you know, hollow street light. Is that one word? Hollow underscore. Of course, I had to choose the longest thing here while I'm recording a video. Street light underscore 01 underscore blue in the training area folder. Yeah, place them liberally. Okay, so let's see what happens. So it says, let me first understand the blueprint, get a good look at the current layout before placing anything. Now you immediately start panicking, because the moment it says, I want to understand the blueprint, I didn't ask it to do any of that. But luckily, it's looking at the street light blueprint and not 500 others. But the moment you see an AI say, I want to look at blueprints, I want to look at that, don't assume that it knows what it's doing. Immediately realize the kid has seen another goldfish, because that's what's happening when it starts Python, or it goes on these tangents. It sees a goldfish and then it goes after that. It's like, ooh, let me find out more about that. Ooh, let me find out more about that. Ooh, let me find out more about that. So keep a tight eye if you want to save your credits. You know, to make this map and another map, which I'll show you before I sign off. I've burned through. I bought 600,000 credits, and I'm already down to 224,000 credits learning, you know, making mistakes. So you've got to try and truncate it, do small things, cool, calm, and collected, know exactly what you want to do, tell it exactly where the stuff is, exactly what you want it to do. And if you wanted to create blueprints for you, then get other AI programs to help you so that you are that you're operating in specificity. You know, you're very, very specified. So I can really see some street lights appearing near the central hub. Where did it put the street lights? Yeah, it says you want me to tweak heights and stuff. Well, let's look for these street lights now. Okay, so that was a light. Street light. So it made a whole bunch. So there's one. Now, don't panic. See, now when you see it did this, now you'll see all these street lights that it put you. That's going to do stuff like this. because it doesn't, you know, it's like under the ground. It's uh, when it does stuff like this, you just now you realize, okay, I've got all these street lights in here, and so okay, they are all lying down. Now, either you can just turn everything up to 90 degrees and then move them up in the air, or you can say they're all lying down. Well, are they all lying down? Let me just make sure. Yeah. See, it got confused. So don't panic. You say they're all lying down. Turn them all by 90 degrees to stand up. Just the lights you just added. See, like that. Oopsie, I spelled. Well, it doesn't matter. The spelling mistakes. It doesn't panic. Now, what helps is if you find. Okay, see that one. No, those ones are fine. I don't know why it did. I mean, it's placed them completely wrong, but that's fine. It's in the map. See, those are lying down over there. Okay, they're these are fine. Okay, so instead of me telling him to do it all, the cool news is now, like, this dude's in the map, and now all I have to do is just manually edit them. It's it's not a end of the world vibe, because the stuff is in the map, but the more you specify where you want it, this is a bit of a complicated map, but you saw how it puts the lights into the map for you. Let me see, and some of them are lying down. I don't know. I have to figure it out. But anyway, so that's that's one of the ways you do it, and you can do crazy things like let's do a crazy thing. Yeah. So I'll fiddle with those later. For those don't actually give me enough light. I'll delete all of them. That's why I've got version control. But let's do something crazy. Nuke the global lighting and throw in some moody spotlights from above. Now there, I'm not being very specific at all. Now it's gonna say, let me check the current lighting scene before touching anything. So specificity is the best, but also sometimes you can get lucky. So then you might end up with lights lying down on the ground, but at least you didn't have to add all the lights yourself. They're at interesting spots. The AI had some nice ideas about where they should be, and the cool thing is it names them. See, that's what I like, is all these street lights have been named. I don't have to name them all. Ludus has named them for me. So, and quite cool. Other cool thing is you can actually work on stuff while Ludus is doing things. Not advisable. But because you're going to end up with a cooked GPU, as is my custom. But let's see what it does. But the key here is to help Ludus understand your project, have small conversations with it. Like, I haven't gone deep into creating blueprints, and Ludus kind of prefers the programmy stuff to the blueprinty stuff. I'm a world builder, so having this tower defense thing, I was stuck for months, and then Ludus helped me put the boxes down, handle wave tables. It helped me in this map over here tell me what was missing. So each time something wasn't working, that I would ask Ludus, what's going on? Why is this stuff not working? Why is this thing not going there? Because it's pretty complex. There's multiple spawn points in this map. Bosses are coming out of that one. Fodder is coming out of those. Turrets have to shoot. Okay, there you go. It says it has everything it needs. So let's see what it does. So a lot needs to happen here, and where I would forget stuff easily, Ludus remembers everything, has a look to make sure it's all there. And that's why it's important to have this this document open when you work with AI in general, but especially having fun with Ludus. Look, see, did you see how the lighting changed there? So it's nuked the global lighting, and now it's gonna put down some moody downward spotlights. And remember, all I said was nuke the global lighting, throw in some moody spotlights from above. So it's now on step 2. So step 1, it crushed the global ambience with a near black skylight, dark post-processing volume, which is cool. So I generally like that when I put games together, because I love tracer fire. You know, when you're firing your bullets, I love the effect of tracer fire. It says all 22 spotlights are placed. Now save and check the result. Let's see. See it now, it saved it. And this is why that version control is important, because, you know, if I click over here, it'll show you there's already been a bunch of changes to this map. So Git is checking it out. See, Ludus told me what was added. It's also important to, specify, tell me what was added, tell me what you did, tell me where I can find the stuff. Okay, so it added 5 hub spots by the crossroads, 7 ramp spots, 10 platform spots. So let's see how this feels. You know, so I'll put those dudes properly. Well, well, turn them up by itself. What did you? Okay, seems like it fixed some of those things while it was added as well. So the only way we're going to see how effective it was with the spotlights is if we push play here quickly. Alrighty, so the post-processing volume has muted these things, and it's muted that lighting over there. So we'll work on that. But let's have a look what it does with the actual. Yeah, see, it's really nuked everything. But let's have a look. I've got my little cheat money over here. Now I can't even see the upgrade stuff, and you're going to see something pretty cool now. Let me do this stuff here. I just want to see what the tracer fire looks like with this lighting scheme. And it says it placed spotlights. And check, I don't know what you can see on the right-hand side. You can't really see that much. Let me just do this. You see over here? It's actually named. All the spotlight is here, and the spotlight is there, and the spotlight is, see, it's named it East Ramp, Hub Center, Northwest, all that pain that you would usually go through. It's all named now. So then placing it manually is still faster than you doing it yourself. But okay, we're probably going to die, but let's go. We don't have sound for you to listen to the sound effects and stuff. Just wanted to show you the vision. So let's have a look. Pretty cool. But you see the post-processing volume is muted. All of the lighting, everything has been nuked. So now I'm going to tell it that. I'm going to say your post-processing volume has nuked the heck out of all the lights. You might have to pull it back a bit. Do you see the way I'm communicating? Because it remembers in this conversation, we are 24% in this conversation, so we're still fine. And we don't have to do a handover yet. But if you get to a point where you're running out of space, tell it, give me a handover, and you take it into a new chat. But you have these kind of little conversations the whole time. Pretend you're sitting with, like, a very clever kid. You say, see, then it says, yes, the 3 exposure bias is eating the spotlights alive. The neons are surviving because they're emissive, but the actual spot pods on the floor are getting crushed. I'll dial the dice back to 1. Now, you can do that yourself if you know what you're doing, but I'm just give you an example of how incredible this is, because it's a lot of work to place lights, place a lot of spotlights, to do a bunch of things. But once you get the hang of it, it gets easier and easier and easier. Let me see, that's a little bit better. Okay, auto exposure, still keeping it dark and atmospheric, but the spotlights can actually register on the floor surfaces. Okay, so let's see. It's a little bit better. But I can tell here that it's a bit too muted, I want it to pop more. It's not bad, though. I mean, that post-processing volume's doing a nice moody job. I see. Pull it back a little more. So, yeah. I hope this is, let me see how long I've been, nearly 30 minutes of jabbering here. So let me, with these last 3 minutes, see what it does with the lighting. But yeah, that's the key. So whatever you're doing, have a conversation, save the conversation, pop it into, your document, so that you're saving the principles of what you're doing, so that you don't have to start from scratch every time you open Ludus. Let's see, what did it do? See, because it's fiddling with exposure, brightness, minimum brightness, maximum brightness, bloom intensity. It's looking at it itself. It's got a bit of a cinematic vibe to it, yeah. See, so I'm liking the look. Let's have a look at the spotlights here. Check out all the spots that did, man, and named them all for me. Now let's have a look. See, here's the problem. All the spots are aiming in the wrong direction. So you go like so. No, that's not it. Let's group them. What are you doing? Let me, rotation. See, it's minus 90. So let's see what happens when we make it 0. I'm keen to see what this looks like. Yeah. Bro. When the lights actually are where they're supposed to be aimed. So yeah, let's do this. This is quite important to see. So see the lights, they're all aiming sideways. So take a screen grab of your own. I'm going to do that. I'm going to take a screen grab. I'll just grab it like so. And then over here, you just upload that screen grab. It can take you can tell it to take a screen grab. But I prefer just to do it myself, because then it's looking at what I want it to look at. Okay. Boop. You have all the spotlights at minus 90 degrees. I think you need to set them to 0. See, so now it looks at the picture, and now hopefully, if we stay selected, we'll actually see it happen in real time, where Ludus actually swings all the spotlights down. Yeah, so sometimes it's going to be a hit and miss. But the cool thing is that, you know, they're actually more or less where they're supposed to be. You know, they're above the roads, they're above the center there. Says, yep, I can see clearly from your screenshot, all the cones are pointing sideways. New 5 spotlights default orientation already aims down the z-axis, so the pitch I applied was rotating them horizontal, blah, 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 blah. So let's see what it does. But you know, again, have these conversations. See, I'm only at 29% because I brought in all the principles already. It already knows where all these blueprints are. It knows where all my project stuff is. That's usually where it gets stuck, you know, when you tell it to do something and it can't find anything. When it comes to blueprints, you know, like what's worked for me so far, maybe I'll do another video about it, but what's worked for me so far is to get a brief from ChatGPT or Claude or Grok, and then confirm it. So I'd get a brief from ChatGPT, and then I'll ask Grok what it thinks, and then Grok might say, well, this would be better, and then I'll take it back to ChatGPT, and I say, this is what Grok says, and ChatGPT is a yes man, so it says, yeah, that's a good idea. And then I'll say, okay, do some research on Ludus AI and give me a prompt that works for Ludus. And then you bring it in and you open the blueprint yourself, and you ask it to build it out. It's going to be hit and miss, but sometimes you know, you get lucky. So, and you can see it's still busy working on turning all the lights the right way. Let's hope. Yeah, now 34th minute of this video. I don't know if anybody's watching this far. Really help it hopes you know, it helps folks to you know, understand how to work with AI in general. You've just got to treat it like a very clever kid. That's all. Let's see. Come, bro. Press G to toggle game view. Yeah, you see it hasn't fixed it yet. Okay, so you see, so it says debug cone still showing because you have light debug visualization. Okay, actor rotations are confirmed correct. No, they are wrong, sir. See? No. Okay. So let's have a look here. When you run into that, now the rotation is 0, 0, 0. So why are these spots facing the wrong way? If the rotation is 0, that says the debug cone are still showing. That cone visually is misleading you. It's drawing from the light's position outward. So they look angled from the, but they're all pointing straight down. No, they're not. Oh, my word. Okay. So that's it. Nope. I am not misled. Must be some other reason. Now I can experiment and specify, or I can just fight with Ludus. Sometimes it's fun, especially when I'm only at 31% of the conversation. Must be some other reason they are pointing off to the side. I mean, where are these things pointing? Let me see. Well, that one is way over there. Okay, let's have a look at this one. So that would be 45 degrees pitch over there. It's not a it's not a train smash to reset the stuff. The difficult part is dragging it into the map, into the right places, naming it, and you got to try and kind of keep your sense of humor throughout the building process. Also, what works for me is to take a subscription and then just buy some extra credits so that I've got the freedom to experiment and figure stuff out. And every time something works again, I just chuck it up there. Oh, there we go. That worked. That worked. There we go. It fixed it. I didn't fix it. Ludus fixed it. Nice. See? All cones are now pointing straight down. You can see everywhere. Yeah, you see. So hit G, and now we've got some light. Those lights are weird. And you keep chatting about the, like the post processing volume needs a bit of help. So I'll come back to lighting again, and I'll just show you what a map looks like. Please hold. That's really been nicely lit. I had a thing where it was just opening levels and levels and levels. OSP. So I'll show you. There's outpost. Nope. Yeah, let's not save that. I'll get stuck into that again. I'll show you, because it's a lot of work to get lighting right, even on a good day. It's tons and tons of work, and it's so much faster when you've got Ludus like naming the stuff for you, placing it, because just to move a light, that's much easier than having to pop it in there, rename the thing, set all the values, go through all the struggles. But you can see in this map over here how the lighting pops. There's rain in here. It's moody. I wanted a horror thing. There's beams of light. It sorted out all the HLOD for me. You see how beautiful it is? Stunning here. StreamYard struggling, so it's a bit chuggy in StreamYard. It's very smooth here on my computer. But yeah, so the recording will look a bit choppy because this is a 4K. but you can see, just in every case. Let me pop it to, it's really struggling. But you can see how moody it is, how nicely done this is. I mean, you're getting a PowerPoint presentation. Yeah, Unreal Engine is using all the resources. StreamYard is fighting with me. But anyway, you get the idea. So it's worth just working with Ludus. Remember that all AI is just a kid with a lot of information. So treat it like that. Have conversations. Talk to it like it's a kid. Deal with it kindly and patiently, and you'll end up with fantastic results. And for a dev, you're looking at $1,500 to $2,500 a week who would have the capability to do this stuff, to give you this cinematic look, So $100 here, $150 there for credits. It's just incomparable. Anyway, I hope you guys got something out of it. I know it was long, but maybe someone got something. Bye-bye.